So there's many ways of sharing it, but I have to mention here, obviously, that the best that we can do now, the easiest and the best that we can do now is, of course, put Guruji out there in this virtual world that reaches billions of people daily, which is mainly in the social media part of it. And you see this project that are concentrating in sharing of Guruji online, how crazy it is. They had a plan of reaching 1 million people on TikTok, on Instagram until Christmas, and by now we reached 15 million people. So just by some courageous devotees taking some clips of Guruji and adding his name in the hashtag, 15 million people, almost all of them heard about Guruji and got to know something about Swami Vishwananda in this world. 15 million people is 1/8 of German population nowadays, if you put into numbers. But it's much bigger than many countries in the world. So it's very impressive what we can do by just creating a little profile online and sharing Guruji's name. And that simple act is a real way of showing gratitude. And I'm going to prove this statement with a little story in a bit. I remember seeing some time already because of the kirtans and little sharings that I've been trying to do also on Instagram. Because I started sharing stories of Guruji and miracles of Guruji on Instagram originally. First I opened the Instagram account because some of us forced me to. I was writing stories about my Prabhuji and Guruji and pictures in a blog spot, you know, this old blog spot. And then somebody said, "You look like my grandfather writing blogs, you should write on Instagram." So I'm not going to go into this Instagram. So he forced me, then I went there. And then it was nice because it connected with mainly new people. There's many devotees from Guruji there, but mainly new people reading it and writing and sharing. And many from those people, they got Guruji's darshans nowadays, they participated in all the events, and some flew to meet Guruji physically, and there's deep stories that happen from these little sharings. And my motivation to start sharing more Guruji stories and miracles of Guruji, explicit miracles of Guruji even, was because sometimes I would open some social media or YouTube, and I will see that there is some kind of idiot people that spend their time talking bad about Guruji. And every time I saw somebody talking bad of Guruji, I said I have to make at least 3 posts talking about amazing miracles of Guruji. Because the love of the devotees have to be stronger than the stupidity of those people. So we have to be grateful enough to Guruji and share his love in that way. To make it personal, show that it is your personal experience, not something that you hear from somebody. It's your personal experience, something that came and touched your life, and show that Guruji is divine beyond any mental understanding. Just show your experiences. That's all we have to do. And post him a little bit. And the power of that is something that we cannot understand. Some years ago, 2015 or 16, I had this friend of mine. He's a musician. I'm not going to say many details because I didn't ask him for the permission of the story. He had a sickness. So first he thought he was living in Germany. He was Brazilian. And he had this headache that was extremely bad. So bad that he wanted to kill himself. And for many days, he was visiting many doctors and hospitals, and nobody would do anything. And in pursuit of trying to get rid of this crazy bad headache, in some of the days, a friend of him gave him some drugs. He said, "Maybe you just try to smoke that, and maybe the headache will be better, because normally it alleviates the pain." And he said, "Okay, I never use drugs, but I'm going to try that because I'm in panic." So he tried, and it didn't help at all. So he went to the hospital again, He said, look, you guys have to help me. Last time the doctor said it's only a headache. And then he was writing this file saying what he used and said, did he use drugs? And he said, yes, yesterday I had to try with drugs. And then the doctor treated him as a junkie and tried to send him to a clinic, thinking that he just behaved as a junkie, like addicted junkie that was having a headache because he didn't use it, something. And it was the first time ever he used on the day before. Until one doctor decided to trust that his headache was literally killing him and made some deeper exams inside of his head. And they found a condition that, I don't know the scientific name of the sickness, but the common name of the sickness is suicidal disease. Because many people kill themselves because of this disease. And it's inflammation in the trigeminal nerve, which is basically 3 nerves meet inside of your head. And there's inflammation in the point where these 3 nerves meet. So imagine, inside of your head, there's a point where 3 main nerves join together. And the connection point of these 3 nerves inflammates inside of your head. So many people kill themselves because of this headache. Some months ago, I saw an interview and I realized that the drummer of the band Blink-182 has the same condition. So, and then the doctor said, look, we don't have a cure for this. But what we do with people, we give them pills that epilepsy people use. So you take these epilepsy pills, and that's going to calm you down and make your whole nervous system very relaxed. You know? So, but in the long term, it's not good. So we have to start reducing, and sometimes it's fine, and sometimes not. Sometimes people have to use it for the whole life, and it's very damaging for the body and for the brain to be using these heavy pills forever. So he was taking it, so he was basically constantly high, and never hungry, never sleeping properly, but at least he was not having the pain attacks. And he writes me, so he called me, Luis, I see that you have this spiritual guy that you follow on the internet, because he saw where? On Instagram. And he was like a musician, jazz friend of mine. Eh? I saw that, he told me, I saw that you now follow this guy, and I'm in a situation of my life that the medicine cannot help me. And the only thing that can help me is a miracle. And the first thing that I thought was you, because you keep sharing these things. So I said, bro, of course, take the next train and come here. Tomorrow we have Lakshmi Yagna. Maybe, if Guruji wants, he can do everything. I'm quite sure he can help you, but it depends on many variables. Just go and meet him and let him do his magic, no? So I told Guruji, this guy is coming. He came here, and Guruji brought him inside in the tent for an interview. And he told his story to Guruji, and Guruji listened to his. So Guruji manifested a ring with a green stone, gave him the ring, and said, don't worry, you are fine now. Just like this. And said, you got like this because you are so perfectionist as a musician that you made so much stress. He was in the ending phase of his university studies, saxophone player. And Guruji said, you made so much pressure on yourself that basically your brain exploded, like inflamed, to be a good musician and to pass the exams. So he said, now you just have to relax, learn some meditation, learn some breathing, and you are fine. Just trust me, you are fine. And then he was like, okay. So from that moment on, he stopped and take the medication, and as soon as he came back to the city where he lived, he went to the doctor, and the doctor made again some scanning of his brain and said, oh, the inflammation reduced a lot. It seems that you are fine now. Let's start removing the medicaments. And that's it. Guruji just materialized him a ring and said, you are fine. And he was fine. And all the doctors before said, I have no solution for you. Just take this epilepsy pills until you die. And how he got to know about Guruji? Through some posts on Instagram. And to close this story, short time ago, Guruji asked me about this friend of mine, because he came here after some months, and then, boom. After he was playing saxophone with full confidence again, and then it was only about the job. Now he moved to other country, and he's just making music, and maybe once or twice a year we write. But that urge and that need of meeting Guruji also cooled down in him, now that he's not needing anymore. And Guruji said, you see, it's a bit sad how people are. Like when they need, when they are dying, they come with all faith, and after they don't need anymore, there's no gratitude. And they just leave and go back to their normal lives, and they don't change anything. And then Guruji said to me, but tell him something. There's one thing he can do to show his gratitude. Just ask him to record his experience and share with others. So that's what Guruji said. The guy could show all his gratitude just by doing this little act. Taking what he got and sharing what he received. So share what you receive from Guruji. Post his face, post his voice, post him singing, post him dancing, post him talking. Post and you talking about him, post you talking about your experiences, and share to everyone. And it doesn't have to be also only on social media. When you go on a train, you talk about him if you have a chance. When you're on the airplane, talk about him if you have a chance. Just always share his love, and that's the best way that we have to show gratitude and actually to transform our lives ourselves. Jai Gurudev.